Israel is facing mounting global condemnation after launching a strike on Hamas leaders in Qatar, a U.S. ally and key mediator in talks to secure that ceasefire in Gaza. Qatar said the strikes targeted homes of Hamas political bureau members in Doha. Hamas said its leadership survived, but 5 members were killed. Qatar's prime minister accusing Israel of using weapons undetectable by radar. Washington had said it had warned Doha before the strike, but Qatar insists the alert came only after the missiles had landed. The emirate denounced Israel as treacherous and accused it of engaging in state terrorism. Qatar's prime minister added that it reserved the right to respond. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump said he was not given advance notice of the attack, adding that the strike was Mr. Netanyahu's decision alone. It is the first time Israel has publicly acknowledged a strike inside a Gulf state. Its UN ambassador defending the operation as the right decision, stressing Israel does not always act in America's interests. Blake Sifton is covering this story for CNA. He is live in Tel Aviv. And Blake, what more do we know about the strike and its targets?
Good evening. We understand that the Israeli Air Force fired some 10 missiles at this meeting of Hamas leaders in Doha, Qatar, and the missiles were fired from outside of Qatar's airspace. As you say, Hamas have said that none of the leaders present were killed, but that 5 lower-ranking members of the group did lose their lives. Israel has said that they are still determining the result of the attack. However, there are reports in the Israeli press that Israeli security officials are acknowledging that they did not kill their intended targets, which were the leaders attending that meeting. We also understand that several of the leaders arrived in Qatar in recent days from Turkey. Turkey is another location where Hamas leaders are based, and that is believed to be a safe haven for them. Now, to tell you a bit about the leaders that were present and that Israel was targeting, there was Khalil al-Hayya. He's the Hamas chief negotiator for the ceasefire and hostage release talks. He's also the head of Hamas in Gaza after the killing of Yahya Sinwar. Also present was Zahar Jabaran. He is the head of Hamas in the West Bank. And Mohammed Darwish, he is the head of Hamas's Shura Council. Now, also present was Khaled Mashal. He is probably the most well-known leader of Hamas, the most well-known surviving leader of Hamas. He was head of the group from 1995 until 2017, and he actually survived an Israeli assassination attempt in 1997. When he was in Amman, Jordan, 2 Mossad agents approached him in the street. They sprayed him in the ear with poison. Those Mossad agents were arrested by Jordanian security forces, and those Mossad agents were eventually exchanged back to Israel in exchange for the antidote to the poison that had been used on Mashal. Mashal recovered and then went on to lead the group.
Now, what might this mean for the Gaza ceasefire and the hostage negotiations now?
Well, this attack in Qatar is likely to damage the ceasefire negotiations for 2 reasons. To start with, it targeted the Hamas negotiating team while they were discussing a ceasefire proposal put forth by President Trump. And whether they will take the risk of gathering again to discuss future ceasefire proposals remains to be seen. Of course, the attack also took place in Qatar, and Qatar, along with Egypt, are the key mediators for the entire ceasefire process. They've been instrumental in the release of 130 Israeli hostages who were released in the earlier ceasefires. And Hamas have also, of course, said that one of the fatalities from the group was the son of the chief negotiator. So whether he hardens his stance in future negotiations or is less likely to make concessions also remains to be seen. And Qatar have condemned this attack. They've called it cowardly. They've called it a violation of their sovereignty. And throughout the war, they've been hosting ceasefire talks. They've been hosting delegations from Israel, including the head of the Mossad, the head of the Shin Bet, and Israeli military leaders. And they may very well now withdraw from that role, leaving Hamas and Israel without a main mediator to work through. Now, the family members of the hostages are very upset by this development, very worried for what it means for their loved ones. The mother of one of the hostages held in Gaza said that by striking Hamas in Qatar, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has essentially killed her son.
All right, leave it there for now, but thank you so much, Blake Sifton, covering this story for CNA from Tel Aviv.